Hi, Steve Queen here with LiveWick Media. Welcome to another video. This is video number 4 in a series on first things. That's this book that I made for myself to cover what are the first things, what are the most important things, the most necessary things in the New Testament. I wanted to know those for myself and did an extensive study many years ago, and this was the result. And I use this just about every day in my own life to help me stay aligned, to not live like this, but to live aligned with God, because that's how all the great things happen in life. That's how not only spectacular things happen, that's how I stay as consistent as I am. And I'm as human as anybody. Sometimes my humanity's hanging out all over the place, and I don't like that. I don't like what happens when people drive crazy sometimes. So I'm far from perfect. But I know that when I am aligned with God, that Jesus lives in me and through me more the way he wants to. And when I get out of line with him, then there's a lot more of me going on. So let's resume where we were in the short version section, and let's talk about the mission and the motivation of the gospel. So what is the mission? That's important to know what the mission was that Jesus gave us. And that mission is really pretty simple. Make disciples. That's what he said. Be a disciple and make disciples. He said, repent, believe, follow me. That's the message. If people don't want to repent, then they're not going to get the gospel. You have to repent, believe, and follow Jesus. Repent of any other gods, repent of being your own God, believe and follow him. Okay, so if I've done that, now what do? Well, you be a disciple and you make disciples. You help each other grow in him. A disciple is a learner, a follower, a pupil, but it's more than just school, where you go to school like in America, typically in American education, in my experience. It's go to class and sit there and listen to the teacher or the professor speak, and you read the book and read something online, and then you take a test and you mark the answers, and then you get a grade, and there you learn something. That is not what Jesus was doing at all. It's not what Jesus is doing now. Jesus came to show us a whole new way to live, and it's about him and his kingdom. And the mission is to be disciples and make disciples. Here and now, in the mess that life is. Listen to his voice, see him clearly, align with him, and follow him. Live, let him be your king. Live out what he's given us. That's the mission. And help your brothers and sisters do it. And let him work through your brothers and sisters to help you. It's a community thing. It really, really is. And I've had some people say, well, God's mission is more than that. Maybe it is, and I'm not trying to be insulting with the voice. I'm just saying sometimes people are kind of pomps about it. Hey, there's more to it than making disciples. Really? I'd love to hear your comments. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is a lot more than that. And sometimes people go into, he wants us to affect, government and education and arts and all these other spheres of life. Yeah, but I only affect those things. He can only work through me insofar as I'm following him. If I'm being a disciple and helping others be disciples, then I have something to share in those other spheres. Believe me, I totally understand when it's just Steve in those spheres, there isn't that much to share. So the mission is to make disciples, to be and to make disciples. Now, let's finish up with motivation for this video. Why was there such passion and urgency in the early disciples to get the gospel to people to the point of enduring persecution and even death? Jesus and the gospel were not a hobby to these people. Jesus and the gospel were not get out of the judgment of God and avoid hell and all that, but just go ahead and live your life however you want to. It wasn't that at all. It's a full-on lifestyle that he came to give us. What was the motivation? Love for God and love for people were their motivation. The motive is love. It's always been love. And it's not just ooey gooey feelings, not just romantic love or Valentine's Day kind of love in the U.S. or romantic love, between a husband and wife or whatever. No, this is love the way Jesus means it, which is self-sacrificing. And you can see this in Matthew 22:37-40, 2 Corinthians 5:14-15. So it's love for God and love for people. Love for God produces obedience to God in what we say and do. Let me say that again. Love for God it produces obedience to God in what we say and do. Jesus said, if you love me, you'll obey my commands. It's simple. John 14:23-24, John 15:10-14, Matthew 11:28-30. So love for God produces obedience to God. Secondly, love for people means we say and do what is best for them, even if it costs us sometimes. Jesus came to speak the truth. And if we love people, we will say and do what is best for them. And often the truth is something they do want to hear. Sometimes the truth is not something they want to hear. But we need the truth. I need the truth. You need the truth. Everybody needs the truth anyway. Acts 4:18-20 and Ephesians 5:1-2. So that's the short version of First Things. And again, I hope you don't just stop there and go, yeah, I've been knowing that stuff for years. We've got a lot more ground to cover. In this particular edition of First Things, it's 45 pages in length. 45 pages. A lot of it looks just like this. So there are a lot of scriptures in here. And you'll hear some things that are very familiar. I dare say, I expect that you will hear some things that may not be that familiar. There are some aspects of the gospel that people don't talk about much, like hidden things being made known, secrets being made known. That's part of the gospel Paul preached, and we'll get to that in due time. We'll call it a day for now on this video on number 4, and we'll look forward to seeing you on video number 5. God bless you. Feel free to go to livewickmedia.com and look under written words. You can read First Things online, or you can print your own copy. God bless you. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.